have elected Susan as our 2013 Caregiver of the Year, and I have something that I want to read about Susan to tell you a little bit about her and how we decided that she is well deserving of the Caregiver of the Year. So Susan joined Synergy in 2006, so she's actually been she is one of our longest employed caregivers in our office. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about her background prior to coming to Synergy, which will really give you some insight into the kind of person that Susan is. So Susan is originally from Chicago, and we won't hold that against her. I hope you're not a Cubs fan, because I'm a St. Louis Cardinals fan. But anyway, but in Chicago, she had been the personal caregiver for a disabled man who was a quadriplegic and on a ventilator. When that man and his family moved from Chicago to the Phoenix area, Susan moved her family and followed him, and she continued to provide care for him. Susan cared for that man for almost 9 years.
Oh, almost 10.
Almost 10, okay.
Yeah.
Got
He passed away a couple months before 10.
Okay. And,
Long time.
and he passed away shortly after the move to Arizona, correct? Not long after. And so at that time, Susan began looking for new employment, and she found Synergy, and we're so glad that she did. So since Susan joined us, we've received consistent praise from her clients about the wonderful job that she does and the important role she's played in helping the families care for their loved ones. Since 2009, we know the long-term client, who I'm going to refer to as Mrs. Anderson. Susan provided live-in care to Mrs. Anderson until she passed in August of this year.
Yes.
Toward the end, given the round-the-clock nature of the care that Mrs. Anderson needed, she converted from being a live-in care to 24-hour care. Mrs. Anderson was 96 years old when she passed. She had been bedbound for over 3 years.
No bed sore.
She had a history. Don't spoil the story. She had a history of arthritis, cancer, some depression, was hard of hearing and often forgetful. She had a private duty nurse and a private fiduciary managing her medical care, and had also been under the care of hospice. Now, when a client is under 24-hour care, normally what we do is we staff the case with 2 caregivers running 12-hour shifts. However, given the bond that Susan had established with this client and the wonderful care she provided, the client and her care team wanted Susan to be there 24 hours a day. And now this is somewhat of an unusual arrangement, but the client wanted it this way, and Susan accepted. So Susan's schedule with Mrs. Anderson was set at 24 hours a day from Monday evening through Saturday evening. She did get 2 days of a break during the week, and another caregiver filled in those other 2 days. But given the 24-hour nature of the care, Susan really just had to catch sleep when she could, and she was ready to serve her client at a moment's notice. I'm going to just read a few quotes. So the nurse, Shannon, our friend Shannon, who managed Mrs. Anderson's care, she couldn't offer enough praise for the job that Susan did, and I'm just going to read some comments that she gave to us. First one is that Mrs. Anderson is 96 years old, skin and bones, has been bedbound for 3 years, and does not have a mark on her. No skin breakdown, no bed sores. This is highly unusual and is a testament to the quality job that Susan does. Another comment from Shannon. Susan is conscientious, and she gives 100%. Not only does she fully address the client needs, but she understands the importance of being a good employee and representing her company well. Her documentation and record keeping are thorough and accurate. And another comment. Susan will do anything for this client. She recently brought her breakfast when it was requested at 3 a.m. She brings the client whatever she wants. If she needs to make 3 different breakfasts to make the client happy, she does it. And Susan also adds a nice personal touch. As I understand, she's a former restaurant owner, and she prides herself on making healthy home-cooked meals for her client. And she even makes her own butter. She's been known to share some of her creations with the office staff. I think I've gotten to sample a few things that she's brought by. And she also, when she was on with this particular client, would prepare food and leave food for the other caregiver. So when she was gone and the other caregiver came in for the other 2 days, Susan fixed this nice food that was there for the other caregiver when her shift came to an end. So that just gives you a little more information about Susan, about why we decided that I think you would hopefully all agree with me that the wonderful job she does speaks for itself, and part of being a wonderful caregiver is being a wonderful person. And that's what Susan is. So we are happy to present Susan with our Caregiver of the Year Award for 2013. And so all these, you got all these nice things on the table. So you have our certificate for the Caregiver of the Year for 2013 from our office. The other thing I wanted to make you aware of is we did nominate you for the National Caregiver of the Year Award. So Synergy, the national company, 150 franchises, nominates and elects a Caregiver of the Year. We nominated you. I do not know why they didn't select you, because I thought your story was way better than the one who actually won the Caregiver. But maybe I'm biased. I don't know. But anyway, but they did give us they recognized what you had done in your contribution. So corporate also gave a certificate recognizing your exceptional caregiving skills. And so you have that from corporate. You have this from the office. We've got you some nice flowers here, a gift, a card with another little gift inside, and we've got one more thing coming. Is this what? Is this?
Yes.
Should I tell her what this is, or just? This is actually I think it's a UPS tracking receipt, right? For something that's on its way because it didn't get here in time. But what you're gonna, should I tell her what it is?
Yeah.
So you're gonna get a jacket that's actually a nice jacket with a Synergy logo on it. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right.
This is
It's
very
very well
exciting.
deserved.
I'm sorry, I'm like, not my shy side.
Well, I would like to say that I've worked with Susan now for several years, and it has been a privilege and an honor. You are an exceptional caregiver, and yes, I tell every assessment person, we have caregivers who have clients on service for many years, and they've never had one bed sore.
Yeah, I went to cosmetology school and applied what I know in the guidelines, of course, of Synergy to keep everybody as healthy as they possibly can be. Happy. I make everybody laugh. At least I hope I do. Makes you forget a little while how you feel.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.